Alright. Cool. We can do a thing. So. Rev 2, all that good stuff. Let's do the very, very easy part first. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to organize in rows of where I think there is a drop-off between the characters. So, obvious is obvious. Johnny's the best character in the game. There's almost no one that disagrees with this. Just because Omito is the only one that can win with him doesn't mean he's not the best character in the game. He has everything. He has ridiculous normals. His pressure is unreal. His conversion ability is unreal. He has realistic unblockable setups. He's maybe the most burst safe character in the game, and he doesn't sacrifice tons of damage to be burst safe. Johnny is an absolute fucking monster in this game. There's no arguing it. He is the best character in the game. In the Stark Parallax, I don't think I'm not necessarily going to call these by S to B, so to speak, but I don't think anyone is below B tier in Rev 2 by any stretch of the imagination, but Potemp definitely goes down at the bottom in B. We'll go, I'll try and organize from left to right in each tier, for my opinion. But we'll probably do a lot of switching around, is my guess. So let's start with the bottom. I think the bottom is easier. So characters in the same general area that Potemp is. I think Bedman is absolutely living down here. A pretty similar life. Bedman just isn't that threatening at the end of the day. He has things, but he's a character that has to be left to his own devices to really get strong. He lacks a lot of good win conditions. And his win conditions require a lot more effort from him than they do from his opponents. So, in general, I think Bedman is kind of down in that same area Potemp is. If we were going, like, ever so slightly on the movement, I think he would be, like, here. Like, he's slightly better than Potemp, but I think he's basically in the same kind of tier that Potemkin is, in my opinion. Other characters that would be in this lowest echelon, Axel. Axel does damage in this game, and that's about it. The YRC system blatantly hurts Axel in this game because so many people have so much better mobility and so many more options to cause all sorts of problems. Axel is a struggle in this game. He can still hurt. If he catches you with big counter hits, he can do a massive grip. But Axel lower in pot, no. No one has more issues in this game than Potemkin. Like Axel can fight things better than Potemkin. Potemkin gets absolutely shut out in certain matchups. I would say Potemkin has the only 2-8 matchup in this entire game, and it's against Sin. Potemkin can kind of work his way against some characters that are slightly hindered against his game plan. But Axel's normals are incredibly punishable. I mean, that's by design, though. They also cover ridiculous amounts of space. Ridiculous amounts of space. That's the whole point. His normals occupy a very large area. Does it get louder, or is it just me? I'm going to tone this down just a smidgen. Maybe. YouTube volume sliders are a bitch. But I would put Axel down here. I think these three characters, personally, are the worst characters in the game. And I think they occupy their own tier, in my opinion. So let's go the next tier above, because I know a couple characters I'm going to put. barely above these characters. Ram. Ram is somewhere hovering between... I'm going to call this next tier low A to high B. These are all solidly B tier characters in XRD. I think they are absolutely like... These have the most glaring weaknesses in the game, are these three. Mataski, welcome back from 9 months. Pushing that button, getting that Twitch, baby. Name it whatever you would like. Appreciate the patronage, as always. Hope you're good. So, in the next tier, just above them, I have Ram. If Ram gets you to the corner and does Ram things, she's super scary. Super scary. But her neutral is one of the most complex things in the game, and by complex, I don't mean like it's super complicated to play. I mean your decision-making is complex as fuck. You have to make a lot of decisions about, do I plant a sword and try and control space, or do I hold on to this sword so I have better normals? And that varies from matchup to matchup, and even situation to situation. So, I think Ram is solidly in this. Not at the bottom of the game, but she is notably lacking and has obvious glaring weaknesses, especially in neutral. Other characters that would live down in that tier with her... Zato. Same thing. Zato can still do Zato things. And Zato in the hand of an established Zato player is scary. But he's just notably weaker than he's been in a long time. And he has a lot of matchups where he struggles mightily. Having absolutely no defense in this game, it makes it real difficult. Really difficult to excel in this game. I think it's going to be an uphill climb because they don't want Zato to be good. Where would Zato be before he got the nerf bat? You know, Helios, I think in Sign, like the original game, I think he's somewhere in S or SS. Just because the things they changed made a huge difference. But I can't swear by that because the big thing is we weren't really adjusted to Guilty Gear yet. Like the new version of XRD and the new changes. So we might have overvalued like early Sign and Rev 1 Zato because we just really weren't up to snuff with how XRD worked yet. But he's definitely stronger before Rev 2. Like, that's not even a question. But I don't know that you would have been like, oh man, Zato's the best character in the game if we would have played Sign for a long time. I don't think he would have stayed considered the best character in the game. I really do not. Let's see. I think there's one other character in this particular tier, the B to A tier, and it's Slayer. Slayer is much more honest. He's one of the most meter-hungry characters in the game. If he doesn't have meter, his conversions just don't threaten nearly as hard. But if he gets meter and he counter hits you once, he's the giant walking stick of dynamite that goes boom right in your face. Slayer, I think, is the most of these like clearly lacking characters compared to the rest of the cast. I think Slayer has the most potential to consistently do things in tournaments and in casuals. Because if the Slayer player makes good reads and can convince you to push buttons when you shouldn't be pushing buttons and puts the fear of God in you because Slayer counter hits still hurt like fuck, you can do things. He's not in a wheelchair like he was in the early versions of XRD. In Sign and Rev 1, this character was a pile of hot garbage. Now he is a character that is designed to go boom, but is honestly not near as threatening as he used to be because he doesn't have near the dishonest horse shit he used to have. Like, you can't stand at standing kick range and just hit that button whenever you want and laugh at everybody because what are they gonna fucking do about it? The answer is nothing. They're not gonna do anything about it. So I would say that's like the next tier, so to speak, is this core group of 3 characters that are slightly more adept at taking rounds than these 3, in my opinion. If you were gonna move anything around here, I think the argument would be moving Zato down in here and maybe moving Bedman up in here. But I feel like Zato has enough things going for him still. He still has gross mix-up and unblockables. And Blitz does let him get out of defensive situations in some instances, but this is my opinion. Again, this whole thing is my opinion. We're just making this for fun. And then I'll put it on Twitter later and watch everybody clap at me and be like, "You're a fucking idiot." And I'll be like, "Yeah, have you ever watched my stream? Of course I'm a fucking idiot." Let's see. Do we want to keep going up into the next wad of characters? Where do you guys want me to go next? Do you want me to go from top down, or do you want me to build from the bottom up? Which would you rather see? Because this is where the decisions start getting difficult. Like, these are the freebies for the most part. Build up from the bottom? Okay. There's one other that I... This one. She might be in this tier, actually. She might actually be in this tier, now that I think about it. I don't know if I can put Jacko above these characters. In fact, now that I'm rethinking it, I think it actually goes like this. Jacko does things, and Jacko can definitely cause issues for certain characters. Jacko absolutely just gets brutalized by certain members of the cast and doesn't get to play the game. Any highly mobile character, she just fucking dies to. Chip obliterates her. Millia obliterates her. Axel, for the most part, obliterates her. Unless the Jacko really knows how to deal with that matchup. And even still, she has to play a very janky version of the matchup. So I think she is slightly more consistent than these. Do I? Actually, do I? I'm not going to worry too much about the left to right ordering in each tier. I will try my best to put them where I think if you were putting a gun to my head and be like, tell me what order this tier goes in. I'll try and do that. But in general, I feel like if they're on the same line, it means I feel like they kind of... The differences are so negligible in their abilities that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, there's part of me that could easily swap Ram and Jacko here and go, Ram has just enough going for her with her corner game that she can actually do things. But Ram has the same problems Jacko does. Some characters just don't let Ramlethal play the game. So, we're not going to agonize over that too much. Maybe as I get further into it, if I have any epiphanies, we'll go like that. So, I think this safely does this next tier, the B to A. Hi, Fuj. We'll call this the B to A tier group. So, the tier next, above this group, this is where we're going to start having wads of characters show up. So, the first character I think I would actually put in this tier... Let me think about how I want to order this. Probably Dizzy. So I think Dizzy is solidly an A-tier character. I'm going to move these down just so it's obvious that... So these are B-tier, but not C-tier. These are on the cusp of A and B. It's really hard to line these up because of the goofy-ass horizontal, like... honeycomb looking thing they made these with. It's really hard to actually like I suppose I could use the graph paper, huh? That'd probably be the smart thing to do. So let's do that. Let's put the tip of these on the fucking top of C. We're going to line you idiots up just above that line. I know this really doesn't matter, but I have OCD problems, so you get to deal with it. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Alright. Next tier, the I am absolutely in A, but I can't really put these characters any higher. First up, Dizzy. I think Dizzy is... This is, so like, everyone above this tier, like once you get into A tier, I think these are any character that have the potential to win a big event. It's not going to be easy for, it's not going to be as easy for the characters in this line, but I think these characters are both strong enough to win big events, but they might also have some pretty ugly matchups or polarizing matchups to deal with. Or maybe they just fit in the meta for the game in a certain way that allows them to be successful. So, Dizzy has good screen pollution, duh. She has very high mobility. She has good normals, but not godly normals. Her normals are really good at space for how fast they are. But the other thing is that Dizzy overall is not near as fast as she used to be. She doesn't have near the frame advantage she used to, and she doesn't have the stuff like... Her crouching slash is a good anti-air again, but it's not the anti-air it used to be. It used to be just fucking stupid. Now it's a solid XRD anti-air. She's still one of the best grapplers in the game. Her throw game is off the charts good, especially once she puts you in the corner and you have to hold the good mix-ups. But she has problems. It's just that once she gets rolling, her game is very scary, and she gets rolling easier than these characters do. She can kind of impose her will on her opponent a little bit better than the other characters can. Another character in this tier would be mine. Hey-hun. I've talked about a lot. Hey-hun has a weird place in the meta of Guilty Gear, especially XRD, for a couple reasons. One, Hey-hun loses or has extremely difficult times with some fucking weird characters. Notably, all three of these idiots are hard matchups, right here. So in theory, you're like, well, if you have a hard time with the bottom tier, doesn't that instantly make you bottom tier? In a lot of games, yes, that would be completely correct. But Hey-hun does this weird thing where Hey-hun can fight a lot of strong characters because this character is one of the best round stealers in the game. You can beat the shit out of Hey-hun down to a minuscule amount of her life bar. And then the next thing you know, you get counter hit once by a rogue Shinken or a rogue Hayabusa when she has meter. And suddenly you've lost over 50% and you're one hit away from being dizzy. And that's a bad place to be against this character. She has strong offensive potential, as you've seen. She's got mix-up. She's got a good Okizeme game. She has very powerful defensive tools in crouching punch, a 4-frame. Any 4-frame normal that reaches that goddamn far and is just cancelable into itself, that's really good. That's really, really good. And Clap Super is the best reversal in the game, hands down. It's not even a contest. Because Clap Super is a reversal that you get to confirm after you've already put in. Against characters like Leo, if Leo ever stands up Hey-hun, right? And does the back turn mix up, well, you can't throw Leo in back turn because all the normals have throw invulnerability. But what Hey-hun can do is Hey-hun can literally wake up, and as soon as Leo does the stand-up animation where he stands you up and slashes you so you're already standing, you just buffer clap. And what happens is you just watch and listen. If you hear the huh, and the shield goes up, you hold the button, let it recover, now you get a counter hit. You get counter hit clap, which hurts like fuck. If they don't do anything, let it rip. Because now they don't get to do anything because you're going to clap after the flash and Leo can't block in back turn. And if they stick out of normal, they lose. So you just get out for free with 50% meter. Like, there's no situation there where Leo can do anything. Leo would literally have to run up to you and do super on react, like on your wake up, which is not something Leo wants to do. And then there's other characters that Haehun fights really well that are strong, such as Jam. Jam's a good character, and Haehun shits on her. Most Jam players will tell you that is their worst matchup, and they fucking hate it. Because she has the right combination of annoying lows, the ability to jab Jam out of her pressure, and she outdamages Jam, and that's a big deal. So Haehun is able to gank rounds that she has no business winning. She fights a lot of the stronger characters fairly well. It's just the matchups that feel fucking bad. Like I said, Potemkin, super hard matchup. If you cannot consistently do the hardest combos Haehun has, the 2 and 3 Shishinkin combos, you're not beating Potemkin consistently. Axel, you have to be absurdly patient, and when you get your chance to punish, you have to make it count. Characters like Dizzy and Jacko that have screen pollution are really, really annoying to fight, though she can get around it, but it can be really obnoxious to deal with because she has a huge hitbox and she doesn't have a fast jump. And then characters like Ino. Ino has horizontal chemical love, which Haehun's just like, cool, you did it. I'll hold this. Let me know when you're going to do something. Oh, you're not going to do anything else? Oh, cool. Badguy is a real problem. And then this motherfucker right here, this person shits on Haehun as hard as possible. I even asked Cha-Cha-Cha, I'm like, how do you fight Johnny? What do? How win? Is there a win? What do we do? And Cha-Cha-Cha literally responded to me with, Johnny's too hard. I go 3 and 34 against Omito. Welp. Granted, that's Omito, but still. That's how it works. Is she better or worse at round steals than Chip? Chip isn't great at stealing rounds. Chip wins through control. Chip wins through control and dominating normal. Stealing rounds is when you have a massive life deficit and you turn one hit into a, oh, my win condition is right here on the table kind of thing. No, Cha-Cha-Cha is a ridiculous player. He is my favorite XRD player by far. And I think Cha-Cha-Cha is one of the best XRD players in the world because he gets consistent results with a character that if they run into the wrong bracket, this character has bad times. Real bad times. So, Haehun in there. Other characters in this tier for me. I would slap Leo in this tier. Leo is still very good. Leo is one of the best mauling characters in the game. If you don't know how to do a lot of your option selects to stop stuff like cross-up Berserker Slash, or don't know what to do against back turn, you get fucking mauled. You will absolutely die to this character. He has really good normals that give incredible reward on counter hit for the range they come out at. And this is another character that absolutely performs top-level round thievery. Solely because of, one, Leo's one of the best characters at cranking guard in the game. Absolutely cranks the fuck out of your guard gauge. And one counter hit, you might die. Because if he ever has burst super on deck, the giant projectile super, that thing is dumb. That is one of the dumbest things about burst super in this game is what that does. Because it will just be like, yo, dog, do you need like 90 extra damage on the end of this combo? I got you. I got you. They are dead. Easy all day. But Leo, a lot like some of these other characters, has one notable flaw. Leo has to get to you. If you can keep Leo out, or you can zone Leo with better normals than he has, he's gonna have problems. But it's it's another one of these characters that's never actually out of it, in my opinion. Leo always is in the fight. So, I would definitely put Leo in that A. Can win tournaments. We've seen Tomo do it. Tomo has gone on long tears. We've seen people in America do it. We've seen Zidane have great success with this character. We've seen Mr. K win a tournament with this character. So Leo can get shit done. But the holes in his game are also obvious, and you cannot overlook them for what they are. Who else would I put in this tier? There's not many others. The next ones are where this is where the WOD is going to happen. Is this S? You're going to see a notable uptick here. I think I would put Answer in this tier. This is the most consistently overlooked character in the game. A lot of people haven't fought good Answers, and they're just convinced that there aren't any, and that he doesn't have any options. I'm not going to say this is like, oh man, secret top tier SS plus character. No, not at all. But Answer's good. This character has really good normals. Scrolls are terrifying. The mix-ups when you have an Answer who's actually really labbed out all the options they have off scroll and knows how to deal with shit like Blitz. This character has things. But the thing is it's an investment. Answer is a heavy investment character that takes a long time to see the return out of it. So, in my opinion, he gets overlooked way too much. And I think the only reason you haven't seen this character with better results is, frankly, nobody fucking plays him. There's 2 or 3 notable Answers in the entirety of the West. Mecha MacGyver, hands down, is the best one. So you don't get enough of a representation of this character for the potential they have. Well, I've seen when Mecha MacGyver goes on a tear, his character's fucking menace. The normals he has are far better than you think they are, and the threat of the command grab and the scroll mix-up he has is legit. Like, actually super legit. So people need to stop sleeping on this character. The real question is, do I put anyone else in this tier? How many characters do we have left? 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13. I feel like everyone else is slightly above this. The character I'm considering putting in this tier... Oh, how do I order this? Who do I think is coming up here soon? There's only 2 characters I think could be on the edge of that tier, and it's Jam or May, and I don't know that I would put either of them in there. I could see an argument for it. I could see an argument for both or none, to be honest. Let me think about this for a second. I'm going to come back to these 2 because I'm undecided where I want to put them. Baiken, no. I definitely am putting Baiken in this tier. I think Baiken is absolutely up there. I think I'm going to do this. I think May is just barely off the next tier, and I could easily be swayed to go like this. I think May just barely comes in under the cut. She still has some gross mix-up. She still does damage. She still gets conversions off all sorts of stuff, but it's just not quite of that, oh my god, so cheap level. And I'll be fair, I don't watch a ton of Mei in XRD, because she's another one of those characters whose popularity has dropped off the map, especially amongst incredibly strong players. But I still think she's more than capable of winning big events. I don't think she has a ton of, like, big swaying matchups. I would not be shocked if this is where you're like, yeah, this character's entire matchup chart is 6-4, 5-5, or 4-6. Like, and nothing else even remotely comes close to, like, oh, there's clearly a 7-3 in here. Like, no, I would be very surprised if that was a thing for her. So I think I'll let Mei rock just barely under the, yep, we're clearly into the S tier characters. Am I good with that? Yeah, I think I am. All right. So now we're into the, here's S. Here's where we're talking about characters that clearly have good things going for them, and are able to excel in the game. This is where the left to right ordering is going to become nearly impossible, because you could probably convince me to flip-flop all sorts of these characters around from this point on. So next, we'll go Jam. This is going to be long. There's going to be a line here, a notable line. So Jam has everything you need. We've seen very, very strong Jam players go very far. Teresa, Lox in the States, Doran, Sway. You know, like, this character has, since Rev 2, has gotten what she needs to be a threat. She definitely holds court against a lot of the cast. A lot of her difficult matchups tend to be underrepresented characters, such as Haehyun. That's not to say she doesn't struggle against some of the stronger characters in the game, but I think she can definitely hold her own. The only thing Jam really has going against her is that she's honestly more honest than she's ever been. Jam doesn't have, like, truly cheap, over-the-top mix-up like she used to. She's still an excellent tick thrower. Stand kick alone allows her to be a great tick thrower. But she doesn't have, like, this crazy, oh my god, I got opened up and there was nothing I could do about it. Like, the most terrifying mix-up she has is Karageki-kin. Where she does the fake slide into the overhead, which is very good. But it needs a card to be truly effective. And from there, it's like, she's good. It's just that the characters I'm going to put over here and above here are just slightly better and are a little bit better at making the most of their opportunities. Yeah, you can't just super kick around. That's absolutely true. You cannot get max charge Ryujin and just be like, cool, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna hit a far slash into TK Ryujin and laugh because you're dead. Or I'm gonna hit a single puff ball and you're dead. But she's got enough. She's got what it takes, without question. Let's see. Let's go ahead and lift these characters up, because we're going to be getting to them in the near future. Alright, there. Now we don't have to scroll up and down anymore. After Jam, this is where it starts getting really hard to, like, order these characters. Again, these are going to be swappable all across this board. But I think up next I will put Millia with Jam. Let's try and make this continue the uniformity with my OCD. Millia still has some of the best mobility in the game. Hairpin is 100% a threat at all times. It's the best projectile in the game. You have to respect it. Millia having hairpin is a lot like Kai having 25% for stun edge YRC. When she has it, she controls the neutral. She is the dominant character in neutral, and she gets to bully the opponent. The only thing that keeps her from being the dominant factor she used to be is that now you really need hairpin for your knockdowns. You really need to hold on to it. You can't just throw it and be like, cool, gonna go in, knock you down, put you in the blender, GG, fun times, catch you later, nerd. But she absolutely still can just be like, oh, did I knock you down in the corner? You're not leaving. You are in Casa de Millia now, and I'm going to blend you up until your life bar is gone. Locam, thanks for stopping in, hon. Have a good night. So, in the right hands, Millia absolutely controls tempo in a match. She gets to go where she wants. She's ridiculously safe. The one thing I think that a lot of people have underestimated is that the changes to how hairpin works and having to pick up hairpin has forced a lot of Millias to make much safer Okizeme that's still very effective. You see a lot more backdash, put the disc down, pick up the pin, which puts her out of range for being blitz. It puts her out of range for being reversaled. And you've seen a lot more emphasis on good Millias being like, I have to get setups into Secret Garden in the corner. Because Secret Garden, for those of you who don't know, is the bubble that she calls, and it goes whatever direction she inputs. Once she has that out, I mean, that is the best Okizeme in the game. It's out. Even if you hit her, it doesn't go away. Even if you blitz it, she can just sit there and then dash in and throw you as soon as everything is done. Like, there is no reliable answer for getting out of Secret Garden. So once you have a Millia that consistently does stuff like that, you're in. But the caveats are she's still fragile as fuck. She has effectively the second lowest health in the game. One counter hit can absolutely end her life. Of particular note is this is one of the characters that someone like Heihun loves to see. Because while Millia can put her in the blender and make Heihun feel real bad, one counter hit away into Burst Clap is like, congratulations, you're stunned, I win. So she's still very good. She's still very capable of winning tournaments. It's just that she's harder now. And you're not allowed as many mistakes with your conversions because you can't just do blurp, 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 jump heavy. Yay, I got my knockdown. Like, the fact that she has to be more intelligent with using the pin is pretty much the entire deal breaker with keeping her in check in this game. But just because a bunch of people dropped her, a lot of people moved on, do not be fooled. This character can still absolutely run amok, especially if one is in the zone and playing very strong control and tempo. Let's see. I'm going to get some water real quick, because this is going to tear up my throat, because this is nonstop talking. So I won't run an ad or anything. Just give me like a second here to go get some water. Okay. Thanks for waiting. Alright, next on the docket. This is where the decisions start getting hard. Really hard. I think... How many got left? 2, 4, 5, 10. So the next character is the last character outside the top 10. Who do I think is the cutoff for the top 10 in this game? This is where it gets really difficult. And again, I think from here over, the next, like, all these characters across this way are going to be extremely interchangeable in terms of, like, how could you put Millia ahead of Jam, blah, blah. It's like, no, this is so minuscule, it might as well not be a thing. I'm just doing it to kind of explain how I got there. Man, I think it's Soul. If you're gonna be like, you have to rank someone outside the top 10, I think it's Soul. Soul is a character that does a couple things. If the Soul player gets matchup knowledge against a player's tendencies, Soul can easily shoot up to here. And that's what it'll feel like you're fighting. But we're not talking about just playing, you know, first to 10s or 50 game sets. We're talking about in the general situation of playing Rev 2. Soul's still a monster. He has everything you need to win. He has good frames. He has the threat of a command grab. He does XRD damage, which is to say he shits on you for counter hits. But he doesn't have quite the level of cheapness that a lot of these other characters have. And in a way, Soul is still very linear. Soul basically relies on getting you to do one of two things. Be impatient and push buttons when you're not supposed to push buttons, or be too patient so he can run up and give you the grip. But all that said, that's not to say that Soul is bad in this game. He's not at all. Soul is a very, very, very capable character, especially when you start getting above the mid and even like lower high level bad guys that tend to be wild boys and kind of let it rip. When you start getting to players like Deb or Japanese Soul players that just use his frame traps and all that really, really good hot mess he has going for him, this character is terrifying. And he has some of the best meterless damage in the entire game. Especially in a lot of situations where it's like, oh, this is fine, I'm not going to get hyper confirmed into, oh god, my life bar. That's the kind of shit that happens with Badguy. But he is one of the more interesting characters in the game because, again, Soul's a character that the longer a set goes on, if the player piloting him starts getting reads and starts getting a feel for opponent tendencies, Badguy can absolutely decimate you in long sets. So Soul is one of the, I think he's one of the only characters that like notably applies to. This character is different, very, very different in long sets or long casual sets versus a tournament situation where you only get a couple shots, or if you're in Japan, it might be single elimination. That makes a huge difference overall. If we were doing a quote-unquote tournament tier list, like talking only tournament viability, Soul would actually go down slightly. And some of these other characters would pop up slightly. But this is just more of a general, like, here's Klaige's dumbass opinion on where these characters should be rated so he can get made fun of on the internets later. So, continuing the wad of lower S. For me, so now we're into the top 10. These are the 10 best characters in the game, since Asshole's already sitting up here smugly flipping his coins around and mocking everyone. Next, I would personally put Baiken. This is probably going to be the one I think gets the most controversial response out of me early on. I think a lot of people still think Baiken is kind of meh overall. Like, if someone said Baiken belongs down here, I'd be like, I can understand why you think that. And I think a valid argument can be made. But I think Baiken has had enough change to her toolkit that she can roll with a whole lot of the cast. Is Haehun ranked any different from Casual's tournament? Haehun is absolutely a better character in tournament than she is in Casuals. Like I said, Haehun is a round stealer. And even your bad matchups, if all you need to do is steal enough rounds to move on, that's a lot easier for this character than winning a first to 10. especially in matchups where she struggles. Hey, this song's really good. Put my fucking character back in the game, Arxis. Anyway, Azami alone just changes things up. It's not her old guard counter, but Azami is really, really good. It's really good. She also gets stupid-ass damage, meterless, into knockdowns. Autonomy is back to being a solid option. The chains are super good in this game. Yozansen is amazing in this game. And it's the fastest overhead in the entire cast. Her throw game is still really good. Baiken is she's just one of those characters, just like, she can pretty much scrap with anyone. And that alone keeps her, for me, puts her in that, yeah, this character is more than valid in the top 10 discussion. She still bleeds. She's still got pretty low overall health and defense. But the thing is like, when you have the kind of defensive tools she has at her disposal, that's okay. It's okay if she bleeds. She can make up for it. So she does, the damage buffs they gave her really mattered. Red Azami being better really matters, even if you don't see it that much. Her normals are still really solid, and she can consistently take someone to the corner and put them in a solid mix-up. It's not the crazy batshit mix-up that you would expect of like a Millia or something like that, but her mix-up is scary, dude. And it's enough to make you scared, especially because in the corner, if she throws you, she gets a full combo into a knockdown. That alone is the sign of a character that's got a lot of good things going for them. So for me, Baiken is that, all right, we're into the top 10. But again, if you wanted to go anything like this and shove her anywhere else, yeah, fine. I accept the argument wholeheartedly. We're just doing left to right as me attempting my best to explain why I would slightly put character X over Y over Z kind of thing. Continuing on with ye old wad of lower S characters. Next, Raven. Raven obviously is not the absolute goddamn crazy monster he was in earlier patches. This character is still stupid. Do not be mistaken, this character is still stupid. And this character thrives on one major thing. He's safe as fuck. Safe offense is godly in Revelator. If you can just play your offensive game and you don't have to take major risks to do so, that is worth its weight in gold. And Raven is never really required to take massive risks. When you have normals like Crouching Heavy, when you have Scratch, when you have Needle, that's a lot. That's a lot of things you just get to do and play safely at your leisure. And this character has the ability to transition from offense to defense when needed. Needle YRC is a great way to get in. His dash being invulnerable and going a long-ass way through stuff gets him in. He's got solid normals. The anti-air is not as insane as it used to be since you can't jump cancel forward punch, but goddamn, that was stupid with this character. His air-to-air is super good. Jump dust knocks down from a fuck million height. The blender obviously is not what it used to be because of the change to his fireball, and that's fine because that was actually insane how it used to be. But he still has fine Okazeme. Like, air dash mix-ups are still good. You can't just fucking... a lot of people originally thought it's like, oh, I'm just going to option select all the fucking air dash stuff and then I'm going to shit on this character. It's like, no, you're not. That's not how this works. Not at all. So Raven is still really good despite receiving a healthy amount of nerfs. This character gets shit done. This character absolutely gets shit done, and I think is still a top 10 character in my humble opinion. Let's see. So next, Fausto. Faust is just the epitome of I have everything I need to succeed. Faust is lacking nothing in this game. Still has godly normals. Right? If you put Faust's crouching kick on any character, they're instantly a better character. I don't know what to tell you. This character is still really good. Really, 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 really good. The only thing I think Faust is really lacking is I just don't think Faust is as cheap as the other characters I'm going to put continuing on the list. But this character is just fucking consistent. Like, this is the epitome of consistency in XRD. Like, you have all you need. He still has some of the best space control in the game. If you roll well on your RNG, you can absolutely turn a match on its head. The jackpot items are mad stupid. You know, like, giving this character the ability to steal rounds is mad gross. Like, if he pulls, like, a gold hammer in a trade situation, he might just fucking take a round away. If he pulls a jackpot meteor, he might take a round away. If he pulls meteors, like, 4 times in a row, like Bozak tends to do in tournaments, he might take a round away. And as you have all heard me talk about before, this character is the best character in the game at forcing the opponent to play his game. You have to play Faust's game because you have to account for Faust's items always. If you don't adjust to what item is on the screen, you are not playing the matchup properly. Plain and simple. So yeah, I would put Faust up next. Next in this tier, Sin. We're gonna move over. We're getting crowded, kids. I told you this is gonna be a wad. Sin, as you all know, is Sin. This character is dumb. Sin is not nearly as brain dead as everyone would like you to believe he is. You can't just throw shit out and occupy space with his big ass specials. As much as I love Beak Driver, it is my goddamn sub notification. It doesn't do everything. Except when you're fighting Potemkin, where it does everything. I'll state it again. I think there is one 8-2 matchup in all of XRD. It's this one. I think Sin Potemkin is the single worst matchup in XRD. So, that alone, like that. Groufy, welcome back for 20 months, friend. Glad to have you. Beak Driver, exactly. Exactly. We're hitting double Beak Driver combos. I'm listening. Shinju, welcome back for 5 months. Glad to have you, friend. Hope you're doing well. You all know how Sin works. His forward punch is amazing. He has a DP that is cancelable to make it safe. Beak Driver occupies ridiculous space. Bull Bash is one of the best rewards in the game if it ever gives you a counter hit. There's the fun XRD meme of, but this character has no mix-up. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Absolutely nobody cares. It's Sin. Sin is always viable, will probably be viable unless they make massive changes to his frames or something. This character is really good. This character is super, super goddamn good. And I have one more character that I have ideas on. And it can go like this. It can either look like this or this. And it's arguable both ways. Early on in Rev 2, I thought this character was absolutely this. So did a lot of people. But as people have learned more and more how to deal with Ino, I think she's still an absolutely frightening monster of a character. I don't think she's in the top 5. I think she is, again, she is the character that if you want to make another tier above this one, but not at Johnny level, I think she is the character that deserves the best argument for it, in my opinion. Because she absolutely can kill you off one knockdown. We've seen stuff like Daru go absolutely apeshit on people. We've seen her lure new people into playing her, like Marlin Pie has picked up Ino as his main and has had great success with her. He makes consistent top 8s with this character despite not having played her for nearly as long as his other main characters. But she still has the issue of, without meter, her defense is pretty bad. Yeah, sometimes you can gank people with stuff like vertical chemical, wake up, or YRC kind of things. But I don't think she's quite in that, oh my god, I do everything so much better, so much notably stronger than other people in the cast. But again, if you said she belongs here as a slight cut above this tier, I buy it. If you say she belongs here, I also buy it. I think, for me, she's not that much stronger than this group. But I do think she is the best of this group. She's also notably a character that I think doesn't change that much between tournament and casuals. She just plays her game. Ino's entire game plan is, you're going to deal with Note, you're going to deal with Chemical of YRC, you're going to deal with Stroke going under a bunch of your fucking stuff, and once she's in and knocks you down, you're going to have a bad goddamn time. But I think as people learned how to be more cautious with her and realized how good her Oki is now, they're kind of like, maybe I'm not going to just dive off one knockdown and maybe not take these risks that get me killed. So, for my salt, I put her here. So, my point, basically, is we're getting to the top here. I think XRD has a notable top 5. I think there are 5 characters that are just a cut above the rest of the cast. I don't think they're a massive cut above, and so I'm actually going to pull this down so you don't have the oh my god, there's a gap here, they must be the best. No. Since I'm not doing this extra tier with Ino, we're going to go like this. So, in my opinion, these are the 5 best characters in the game. At the bottom of the top 5, I put Kai. And it's mostly because it's not that Kai is overly dominant over any particular character, or that he just runs shop over anybody. It's that Kai is not bad at anything in this game. And he probably has almost no losing matchups in this game. And the ones he has are probably stuff like 4.5 to 5.5. Maybe a 6-4 is in there. If it is, it's probably Johnny, would be my guess, just based on the ability to outrange him alone. I guess if you want to talk about that in context, like Omido, Machabo, Evo. There's your argument. But Kai can roll with literally anyone in the entire game. He plays at all ranges happily. His neutral is obscene, and neutral is super goddamn important in Guilty Gear. If you want to talk about the one thing I learned the most when I went to Japan and played at Mikado for 2 weeks, it's that A, playing smart, safe offense will fucking take you places, and B, holy shit, I suck at neutral in ways that are not even funny. This character is great at neutral. Really fucking good. Normal's incredible. Anti-air's incredible. Stun edge YRC. Hello, I would like to have neutral, please. Pff, spend 25% meter. Have a neutral. Sick. This is beautiful. Kai just doesn't have a glaring weakness. He fights everyone. And there'll be people who'll be like, but Kai has below average damage. I'm like, yeah, until you block one mix-up and then get opened up. Or he has a fucking, one of the grinders out and puts the super through it and does a grip of your health. Like, his his damage, if he got actual, like, XR damage off all his conversions, here you go. He's the best character in the game, and it's not close. The only reason he's not the best character in the game is that he has to give you a couple more chances than most characters. Kai doesn't get to 2-touch you and kill you, but this character can absolutely 3-touch you and kill you in a lot of situations. Yeah, but this character has low damage. Exactly, Gator. Spot on. Next, similar story. Venom. Skedaddle Skedoodle, I now control neutral. Exactly, yep, you've seen the post. You know what we're talking about here. Venom, similar story. This character has everything. Literally, the only thing Venom doesn't have is defense, and you don't fucking need it when you never have to actually play defense. Neutral, same thing. Stinger, aim, YRC. Hello, I control the neutral now. I'm the best. Can play at any range, whenever he wants. Has amazing pressure. Has probably the best chip damage game in the entire cast. Just, this character's a fucking monster, dude. Like, absolutely terrifying character. And so, I can't not put him in this, clearly the top echelon of the game with the cast. I think he just does so much, so well. But if you ever get to him and you have a strong Okazeme game, you can kill him. That is the one thing. But getting to Venom's not fucking easy. It's really difficult to do, because this character has this. Forward punch. Best goddamn anti-air in the game. One of the best normals in the game. It doesn't have to just be an anti-air. You can just throw it out on the ground in neutral. You'll probably beat whatever stupid fucking thing your opponent tried to do to you. And then once you get into the gross mix-up options, he has the pressure, frame traps. Just, this character is amazing in this game. Gains meter in ways that no character should ever gain meter. He needs to get neutral back, it's fine. I guarantee you he has YRC on deck. This character always has 25% meter because he gains meter like it's his job. Venom is fucking stupendous in this game. And there's a reason you see a lot of Venoms. Because, one, you can play him in so many different manners, and they're all fucking good because his toolkit is so good. And two, he's really fun, and he's stylish as shit when he goes off. So, now, the last two of the top 5, and they're pretty fucking interchangeable. I think I personally am going to put Chip at 3. This character has everything. This character is oppressive in ways that are really, really gross. Yes, Chip explodes if you catch him. Yes, Chip explodes if you get counter hit. Have fun. This character's normals are a goddamn war crime. This character's normals are a fucking war crime. Jump Dust is stupid. Crouching Slash is absolutely the dumbest fucking move I've seen. Go through the annals of XR Chip and try to find a time where Crouching Slash was beat cleanly when someone tried to do something to it. Go for it. I challenge you. I would like to see this. I would enjoy seeing this. Video paused. Won't you stop? Gamma Blade giving him advantage on trade is beyond stupid. Alpha Blade gets him out of a bunch of horse shit and controls neutral in dumb ways. And oh, by the way, Teleport YRC. Teleport YRC is stupid. This character gets so much out of YRC, it's absolutely disgusting. Just, character's a monster. Like, Chip's normals alone allow him to be in this conversation for the top 5, top 3. The other thing Chip does better than almost anybody in the cast, Chip actually just deletes certain characters from the game. Like, let's talk about some characters that don't get to play because of Chip. Jacko doesn't get to play the game when Chip's on the screen. Ramlethal doesn't get to play the game when Chip's on the screen. Axel doesn't get to play the game when Chip's on the screen. Zato, same thing. Heihun has a hell of a time with Chip, but again, Heihun's a character that can just steal rounds in amazing ways. Even other Okazeme characters like Millia have a really hard time with Chip because Chip is actually hard for Millia to catch, and that's a big goddamn problem. Chip is super fucking good. I know a lot of people tend to put Chip somewhere in this neighborhood, and I think he has too many good things. People overvalue the whole, but I explode your life bar, herder. I don't care. Like, yes, in a tournament, Chip can absolutely get bounced. But Chip can also just make everyone look stupid and get normals and trades that he doesn't deserve and YRC into your face and laugh about it. And again, these four, for me, all interchangeable. You can do this. You can do any of these in any order. I'm very, very reluctant to be like, this left to right is all set in stone. Like, no, it's much more about this group, this group, this group, this group, and this group. These characters have the most notable weaknesses. These characters are slightly better than this group, so on. Like, so I'm going to try and hammer that home that the differences in left to right are not vast. I'm just trying to do so for the sake of, well, who's the best in A tier? Well, if you put a gun to my head, this is what I would say. That doesn't mean it's right, because, reminder, tier lists are 100% subjective, and you shouldn't trust people's subjectivity anywhere, especially on the internet. Last character, Elfelt. No, this is not just because I got put in the losers by an Elfelt at Combo Breaker. It is not just because an Elfelt won Combo Breaker, though that does help my argument, not gonna lie. The thing that I think keeps Elfelt in the top 3, she has everything at every range, and she's always in the fight. Pineberry is such a good tool that always allows you to do things. It offers mix-up, it offers screen control, it puts a stop sign up for a lot of characters in a lot of situations. She has adaptability that's on par with Venom to the various matchups. Need a matchup where you gotta play at range? Pineberries and Sniper Rifle. Need to go in and maul the fuck out of someone? Pull out the shotgun. Someone can't duck under stand heavy? Well, fucking sucks to be them. She has incredibly good normals. Far Slash is great. Crouching Heavy is great. Close S is still a very, very powerful anti-air. Forward Punch is an amazing overhead that for some reason got a ton of upper body vulnerability and is really fucking annoying. Jump Dust YRC, it only took Elfelt's like 2 years to figure out that button is goddamn stupid. But now they all know, and it makes me super happy because that was one of the first things I asked back in Sign. I'm like, why aren't Elfelt players hitting this button? This button's fucking stupid. Now they do, because that button's fucking stupid. She scraps with everyone, and she can fight any matchup. Was it only in the Rev 2? I thought Jump Dust YRC was always available. Really? Wait, why was it not YRCable? Did they just lock it out? Buffed in 2.1, 2.1 is not good. Huh. I did not know that. Well, okay, that explains it. Changes the normal to a projectile. Oh, okay, that explains it. Anyway, my point stands, that button's fucking dumb. I rarely see a matchup where Elfelt looks completely outclassed. I would actually, with Autodidact in here, I'd be curious just to hear what matchups you hate or what matchups you feel like are her biggest struggle. But I never see a matchup go off where it's just like, yeah, Elfelt can't win. Like, not even remotely a question. It feels like she plays even or better with pretty much anyone in the cast. I'm sure there are nuances, because I don't play the character, that get in the way of that theory. Johnny Kai, Venom, Raven are her worst. Yeah, sounds about right. The best character in the game, one of the best characters in the game, one of the best characters in the game, and I can see this being a problem for her. I can totally see why he would give her issues, and why Sin would give her issues. So yeah, makes sense. Would you say any of those are worse than like 4.5, 5.5, or 4.6 auto? just for your... Since you're here, might as well get your opinion. If I ever picked up Guilty Gear, I'd like to learn Elfelt. Elfelt, if you... I'm not gonna lie. If I liked this character's design and her inputs weren't fucking really, really weird for my hamster brain, I would play this character. This character has everything. And having everything in a fighting game feels real goddamn good. You get to feel like a god. And feeling like a god is fun. Johnny Zone one's really tough if you're fighting really good John. Yeah, that's fair. I think everyone knows that feeling. Four-star PA. Yeah, no, this sounds like fighting a really good Johnny. Absolutely sounds like fighting a good Johnny. Okay. So yeah, if your worst matchup that feels the worst and puts you in bad situations the most often is the best character in the game, I don't feel terrible about putting this character second. Again, if you want to put her over here, totally understand the argument. I don't see a world where Elfelt belongs below this top 5 line. Just because, again, she has every single option you could ever want. Max range, play it. Up close, play it. Good normals, play it. Dominate neutral, play it. Like, Kai's also a step above the other bad matchups. Yeah, I can see that. He has the normals to compete with her. He definitely has the normals to compete with her. So that makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, this is just my very humble, probably extremely wrong opinion. But the cool part about Tierlist is there's really no way to fucking prove it wrong. You can just make semantical arguments to bump up or bump down the point that you feel deserves to be moved around. Okay, he steals turn back because he can deal with Pineberry. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a huge thing that not a lot of characters get to do. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, interesting. So yeah, this for me feels a lot like where Rev 2 is right now. And like I said, these characters can win. It's just really, really, really hard. You just saw Damondo almost go all the way at Combo Breaker. Like, he took second. This character's all the way down here. There wasn't a single Johnny in top 8. There might not even been a Johnny in top 16. Let me think. Was there even a Johnny in top 48? I don't think there was. I don't think there was a single Johnny in top 48 at Combo Breaker, because Kid Viper wasn't there. There were Johnnies in top 48? Okay. I know we didn't get every match on stream in top 48, so... Angry Black. Okay. No, that's right. Angry Black was in top 48. That's right. I do remember. We did cast that. Okay. I was having a hard time going all the way back through in my head, because doing commentary for 4 hours at Combo Breaker, it blurred together real hard. But yeah, like... Angry Black and maybe Rio. Okay. Yeah. So... You know, I mean, there were Ramblethals in the top 48. Like, it's... Play who you want to play in this game, you can be effective. It's just, like all versions of Guilty Gear, except for my opinion, Accent Core, this game is matchup-based. There's no character that just absolutely turns off the rest of the game because they're so much better than everyone else in the cast. The closest one is Johnny, and honestly, that's only when Omito plays. Like... Even good Johnnies, you can still roll with them. What channel was Combo Breaker on? Pools, top 48 and top 16 were all on Twitch TV BG Callisto. And top 8 was on Team Spooky. Did I add an I in there? I did. Whoops. Thank you. I can't type. I'm bad. There we go. So yeah, all the VODs are on those. I think Callisto's already uploaded to his YouTube channel as well. So yeah, definitely. Combo Breaker was great. Highly recommend you go watch. What's Accent Core's deal? It's well documented. I hate Accent Core. We'll just leave it at that. Accent Core has the problem that there are two characters that are so far above the rest of the cast that it's stupid. Zato and Testament are just better than everyone else by a wide margin. Yeah, this is my humble take on the Rev 2 tier list. Again, the left to right, far from set in stone. The groups are far from set in stone. Yeah, you could definitely make arguments for me why someone should move up a tier or down a tier. For my salt, these aren't going anywhere. And these aren't really going anywhere either. The only difference would be if you wanted to, like, jump someone down a little bit. But I would not move any of these three up. And I would not move Johnny out of this. I feel pretty strongly about this top 5, in my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm right. That's just my opinion of who are the most well-built characters in the game to consistently succeed regardless of the situation. And that, to me, is a top-tier character, where no matter what is going on, no matter what your matchup is, no matter if it's tournament, casual, whatever, that's to me, is the definition of a top-tier character. They can always succeed. And I think these characters absolutely always succeed. But again, that's the fun of tier lists. That's just my stupid-ass opinion. Because as we know, I'm kind of a dumbass and I'm bad at Guilty Gear. I just like to talk about it a lot. But this is a fun distraction since Steam maintenance went off and kind of blew up in my face. But the other thing is that talking about this for the last 2 hours has kind of destroyed my throat again, just like doing commentary at Combo Breaker did. So I think what I'm going to do is save this. I'll make the highlight of this so that everyone on the internet can get mad at me and tell me how bad I am and how wrong I am. And it'll be an entertaining thing to keep my mentions occupied for the rest of the year. Steam is back. What time is it? Kara's probably going to be getting home soon. This is probably a good stopping point, I think. In 4.5 hours. I might stream later tonight, like late tonight, and work on Final Fantasy XIV stuff. But I can tell, I gotta let my throat rest. Like, I'm probably gonna go gargle some honey here in a second. So, first off, let's, okay. Click below to get URL code. So let's copy this bad boy. I'm gonna make a notepad. Save that. But I appreciate y'all hanging out. Those of you I played in lobbies, thank you for the games. Definitely appreciate it. Otto, thank you for your input. It was good to play at Combo Breaker. Really impressive run you had. I'm still mad at myself for not closing out a couple things and not blocking a burst because I thought it was going to come back a hit later because I'm a dumb shit. But I definitely felt pretty good about how I played at Combo Breaker overall. But I can safely say I would not have played that well if I hadn't gone to Mikado for 2 weeks and gotten my brains beat out, and that's not a luxury that very many people get to do, so, you know. I basically took the cheaty hyperbolic time chamber route. But, if you're just here and you don't play Guilty Gear much, or you're curious, check out the game. It's really good. Rev 2 isn't going anywhere. I still think, despite the canceling of ArcFest, we're getting... I think a big announcement is coming. I honestly believe that. I've heard a lot of rumblings that support it. So if you're looking for Guilty Gear news, keep your ears open. I think we're going to get some of that in the very